everybody. I'm John Granato. You can hear me mornings on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. That's Josh Jordan. You can hear him Sunday mornings on Moneyline on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. He's also the editor of SportsMapHouston.com. Josh, this week, former Texan Charles Omenihu spoke to the media about his time in Houston, how it compares to playing for the 49ers. He said the leadership between the coach and GM, it doesn't seem like it's a power struggle in San Francisco like it was here. Do you think he was talking about current Texans or when Bill O'Brien was here last year?
I think it's current and the Bill O'Brien thing. To be fair, I know I'm kind of sitting on the fence here. I really think it's both, because when O'Brien was in charge, there was no real power struggle until Easterby finally backstabbed him and got him fired. So before that, it was, the buck stopped at O'Brien. I don't think it was really a power struggle at that point. But now this year, I think there's something to it. I think Culley and Caserio maybe didn't see quite eye to eye. Caserio cited some philosophical differences that they had. Mm-hmm. We saw the Justin Reed benching. There were a lot of things that happened to make me think that maybe there's still some of that going on. So I think it's both.
Yeah, I think it could have been Culley too. I don't think he stood up on that table and said, I'm not firing Tim Kelly, and that was it. I think there might have been other stuff as well that he, maybe behind the scenes, he and Caserio didn't see eye to eye on. Why else would you give a guy $22 million for 1 year unless you really had big philosophical differences? And that $22 million is arguable. There's some different quotes out there about that stuff. But yeah, I think it could have well been about Culley as well, and all of the stuff that went on behind the scenes. David Culley might have been like, hey, I got a guaranteed deal here. I can say whatever I want. You want to fire me? All right, I'll take that guaranteed money and I'll go to the Keys for the rest of my life. I don't need this stuff. Now, Omenihu also said about the 49ers, it's not a circus show here. Now, we've seen this from other Texans, Cobb, Merciless, Watt. Is that bad, or I kind of feel like this is now a trend that all the players think what a circus this is here, or you think they just got some bad blood with the Texans organization?
Yeah, I think they have some bad blood. I think it's also a circus. I just remember with the Omenihu, they had him third string on the depth chart early in the year, and then Culley was asked about that, and he's like, oh, don't pay attention to the depth chart. He's going to get starters reps. He's going to play a lot. Don't pay attention to that. It makes me wonder who was filling out that depth chart. Was it Culley? Was it Caserio? I think there's some things there that make me really curious about what the inner workings are. But I also think it's the media. They know that the Texans are a bleep show. So anytime they get a chance to ask a former Texan about what it was like playing there, they jump on that because they know they're going to get a juicy quote.
Well, listen, the quarterback won't play because the owner is because he is Cal. Jack Easterby, none of the coaches that interviewed here and general managers last year before Caserio said they wanted Jack Easterby around. It's a clown show. Let's face it. It's been a clown show since the power struggle between Rick Smith and Bill O'Brien, and then getting rid of Brian Gain after 1 year. I mean, it's just been a joke. And then Bill O'Brien and Jack Easterby and the trades and the contracts and everything else. Everybody knows what a dysfunctional organization this is. The players are just coming. They can't say it while they're here, but they can certainly say it now. I don't think a lot of it is bad blood. Finally they can get it off their chest. What a joke of an organization this was to play for.
And I wonder, too, I've noticed kind of a turning of the tide. People are starting to feel good about Nick Caserio. The draft was actually, even you've complimented the draft. He did a pretty good job. But you have to wonder, do other coaches still want to come here? Is it still a clown show behind the scenes? I feel like fans are starting to be like, hey, Davis Mills, maybe Caserio was right. They're starting to have a little bit of confidence in him. But I wonder, is that fool's gold? Is it really better now that Caserio's, had a year to work on this?
Well, you answer the question. You interview with the Texans and the Raiders. Which job would you take? You interview with the Texans and the Broncos. Which job would you take? Even Jacksonville you might take that job because you got Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I don't know that there's a job. Maybe the New York Giants, maybe that you would prefer. Maybe you'd prefer the Texans. I don't know. Why would you want to coach the Texans as opposed to the New York Giants? So I don't know that anything, quite frankly, has changed. They're probably going to hire the last coach again this time because no one else is going to commit to this organization until all the other jobs are filled.
I mean, that is just devastating. Like, you got to find somebody. And I'm hoping that they don't take a Patriots guy as this next head coach. Like, I think that would send a positive message that, we're just going to hire the most qualified guy. He doesn't have to be somebody that we've worked with in the past. But at the same time, these guys like to hire their friends or people they know will have their back. And the other thing is the Easterby thing. We saw that Caserio was asked, are coaches and other people asking about what's the deal with Easterby? And he said yes. So that makes me, and then he also said that Easterby doesn't have anything to do with personnel. But I mean, let me ask you this, John. Do you think he has something to do with who they're going to hire as head coach, Jack Easterby? I bet he's a voice in that room.
Well, I'm sure he's in the room. I'm sure he's going to be in the room with when they're he and Cal, and they're going to be in the room, or at least they got to get final approval from Jack. But who doesn't? I mean, you got to have. If you don't have Jack on board, I'm telling you, you're not. What a horrible organization you have if you don't have Jack Easterby on board, making sure that everything is done right. That's the way an organization should be run.